Yeah, so you went to Rotherham as a schoolboy, I think. Is that
that's right, yeah.
How did that come about? Was it just purely through schools? Or?
So, yeah, I kind of played for Sheffield schools and played grassroots in the Sheffield leagues, and then I'd been at a few clubs on trial.
Yeah.
Like Sheffield United, Huddersfield, clubs like that. And then when I was 15, played a couple of games for Rotherham, signed it there under 15s. Had a full season under 16s, got offered a YTS, and then literally 6 months later I was playing kind of first team football at 17, came through.
Quick.
It was kind of, first year at Rotherham we'd gone through, when I first started, were Archie Gemmill and John McGovern, Forest legends who were in charge, joint managers. They got sacked. A guy called Danny Bagara came in, and this was obviously my first insight into first team football, and it was just chaos. The guy was kind of, he'd had some success with Stockport, I think, later on, but he had no control over lads. He just did 11-a-side football every day, bottom at league, getting beat every game. Fans were kind of going crazy, and then they got relegated end of the season.
Yeah.
Ronnie Moore came in, club legend from the 80s.
Yeah.
At that point, I was seriously considering whether it were for me, kind of thing, at this point, because it was terrible. I hated it. It was a point where, because I needed a place to make up the train every day, I was getting asked to go across with a few youth team were going across and train, and it were soul destroying. I used to kind of look across and see the youth team lads having a good session with and then I'd get dragged into this every day. And I probably think if Ronnie wouldn't have come in at that point, then it could have turned out very different for me. He came in, he took a shine to me straight away. I kind of joined in pre-season with the first team and did really well, and played in pre-season games, and like I say, we're playing first team pretty much from there.
But yeah, quick then. So you were there for 6-7 years, was it?
Yeah, from kind of being 16, right from school to signing for North End I was 24, I think, at that point.
So was it back-to-back promotions as well at Rotherham? Or
we kind of flirt. First year Ronnie came in, we just missed out on the playoffs.
Yeah.
Second year we lost on penalties in the semi-final against Leyton Orient, and then third year we went up as runners-up to Swansea. It was last game at season was v Swansea, whoever won.
Yeah.
From the League
2 to League 1.
League 2 to League 1, then we were favourites to go down. I actually missed first 4 months of the season. I'd had a knee operation.
Right, yeah.
In fact, I was out of contract, and I nearly signed for Huddersfield when Steve Bruce were in charge, and ended up failing a medical because of my knee. I went back, signed for Rotherham, and then we're out for 4 months.
Did you not have a medical at Rotherham then, or was it just?
No, it was just
they
just kind of no. Well, they knew the situation. I don't think they understand. They really probably knew the severity. I probably masked it a little bit at that point because I knew that, but they'd not offered me a contract. Really. They were waiting to see if they got promoted.
Yeah,
I was kind of 19 at that time, and Huddersfield offered me a deal at that point, which were kind of triple me money.
Yeah,
they were playing in Championship at this point, and under a legend like Steve Bruce. So I was devastated when that happened. But then went back, signed at Rotherham, and broke down within a few days pre-season, missed 4 months, and then kind of at that point the lads were flying, and like they were expected to go down, but they just kept winning. They got that just mentality, that momentum from last season where they were used to winning games.
You see it quite a lot though, don't you?
And we weren't, for the money that Ronnie had spent and wages that they were paying. You were playing against teams like Reading and who were up there at that point, who were paying big money, and we just used to kind of scrap and grind games out. And we had some decent players at that point, players like Alan Lee, Mike Pollitt, who went on to Wigan. No, I don't think Darren Byford was there. Mark Robbins, who's
he went on to manage Barnsley, didn't he?
Coventry. He's at Coventry at the minute. So we had some good players.
And
we kind of went up again. It was just, no one could believe it.
Yeah, just one of them.
Yeah.
So how did the move from Rotherham to North End come about? Because it was Billy Davis, wasn't it?
It was Billy. I mean, we'd been in Championship at this point for 3 years. This was third season. I think we'd stayed up twice. And we'd done really well kind of to stay in that league at that point when you consider as wage bill and things like that. And they were kind of chairman at Rotherham at the time, Ken Boothie, they were having a few. He was kind of in his 80s, multi-millionaire, but he wanted to kind of sell up and get his money out. He were getting dogs abuse from fans for not investing in the team. So they were kind of thinking that if he had done, we could have kicked on.
Yeah.
But I just signed a new 3-year deal at Rotherham, and I got pulled into the office on the Friday before we were playing Watford away.
Yeah.
And Ronnie Moore just said, right, we've had some bids for you. We don't want you to go, but if you don't go, then the club could go into administration. Yeah, so we kind of we've just signed a new contract. I weren't really pushing for it. I were happy. I were playing regular championship football. I were playing well, but I probably needed to go at that time for my career. I'd been there a long time, but it's tough when you've been at one place.
Become a bit stagnant.
Yeah, you did. But I was, like I said, there'd been interest before, and the club had always turned it down. And they turned a bid down from West Brom the year before, and I think Norwich had shown interest as well at that point. So played the game at Watford, and I had an absolute stinker because my head just
all over
had gone. And then they said, we've accepted a bid from Preston. You can go up and speak to them on Monday morning. So I kind of drove up on Monday to meet Billy and Derek Shaw.
Yeah.
And Dave Kelly. Look, as I were driving up, Ronnie Moore rang me and said, we've accepted a bid from Stoke and a bid from Sheffield United too. So you can speak to them. So got up, spoke to Billy. Loved what he had to say straight away. Took me to the training ground, showed me around Springfield.
Not much to say.
They weren't a deal to see at that point, but introduced me to all that. They just played. I think I'd watched them that. They played Cardiff on TV and won. I think Billy just took over at this point, kind of, and they were backing him a little bit. So went in. Decided I'd made my mind up kind of once I met Billy that I
even
wanted to
with
sign.
The offer of
I kind of Tony Pulis rang me and I kind of he said, will you come down and speak to us?
Yeah.
I said, well, I won't phone in officers at Deepdale, and I kind of said, well, I've not finished speaking here. Once I've done, I'll ring you and let you know. So Derek started messing about with negotiations. He actually offered me less than I won at Rotherham at first, and I kind of, well, how's that going to work? He's like, well, Rotherham are going to go down this year, and your contract's got a 20% reduction clause in it. So we ended up getting to a point where, and he kept trying to throw it back onto Billy at this point, going, well, manager wants you to have this, and Billy kept saying, I just want the player to sign, and throwing it back onto Derek. So he ended up getting sorted. So I rang Tony Pulis up and just kind of said, hi Tony, it's Sedge, I'm just ringing to let you know that I'm going to be signing for Preston, so I'm sorry. And he just put phone down on me. Literally didn't say a thing, put phone down. So I'm kind of doing, everyone stood around you, and I'm kind of like, yeah, all right, bye then, but trying to make out there was someone on the phone at the other end. But no, that was pretty much it. I signed 4.5 year, 4.5 year contract. I think that was the first one. And that would kind of start it all, really.
Yeah, you had 6 years at North End?
Yeah, from left in 2010, so just under 6 years.
So under Bill, I know from when I've spoken to Matt before, he said pretty much the same as you, that when he first met Billy Davis, he just didn't want to go anywhere else. And obviously that was the same. Was that mentality sort of carried within the squad then?
I think Billy had a way. He were intense. He were intelligent, and he had a way that he wanted you to play.
Yeah.
And he said he'd improve me as a player, which he did. I mean, and he got everyone wanting to run through brick walls for him.
Yeah.
And it built a brilliant team ethic. Do you know, when I first went from Rotherham to Preston, the intensity of training was unreal. Completely different. I think I pulled. I'd never pulled a muscle in my life. I was never quick enough to pull a muscle in my life. But first couple of weeks, I was getting tweaks and niggles everywhere just because I weren't used to it. And I was pretty fit, do you know, at this point, but I just weren't used to that intensity of training.
Yeah, just adjust into it.
And I think about that time, there were me and Patrick Agyman came in the same week.
Was that in the January?
No, that was November. That was before transfer windows kind of came in.
Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah.
So that was like the November, and then slowly started adding a few more players. You know, Illy came in, and we just Nuge came in. You know, and we'd already had a nucleus of a good team already. You know, they got Paul McKenna, Brian O'Neill, Eddie Lewis, Richard Creswell. So just with these few tweaks, we had a good team, John. We just kind of got on a run, and we just kept climbing, and we ended up obviously getting in playoffs into playoff final.
Yeah, well, there was the semi-final against Birmingham, wasn't there?
That was the year
Was that the year before?
That was when Moisey. Well, that's when Kenna scored, isn't it?
Was that Moisey?
Yeah, I think that was Moisey.
Who the hell was Billy?
We were Derby.
Oh, yeah, that was it.
And then Leeds.
I remember the Leeds one. It was always Derby, I forget.
Derby one where we played them at home and beat them. I think it was 2-0.
Yeah.
2-1. We were scored early on, and then Lee Camp threw one in later on. We scored a late one.
Yeah, and that was it Paul Pesky-Solido that was crying on TV after
Raziak.
Gregor was Raziak.
He
missed the penalty, didn't he?
They had a great team at that point, Derby. They spent a lot of money.
Because we got Yule from them as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
And did he score?
Don't think he scored. No, but he had a really good game. I can't remember. I think Nuge scored.
Yeah, I don't
Nuge
really
scored in the first game.
I
can't remember who scored. Crazy might have scored. And then they missed a penalty, didn't they? Second one. So, yeah, good. Did really well, and then obviously got to final. And then Billy started kind of tinkering with team. He kind of left Gracer out, played Ewell right back, Claude centre half. And
it was odd.
Yeah, we just kind of. It was one game too many for us. It looked like we looked shattered on day.
Yeah.
I don't know whether occasion got to us or what, but we beat West Ham twice that season.
No, I remember because I remember going down. My uncle met one of his mates down there, I think, who was a West Ham fan, and I remember him saying, like, "Oh, you're going to do us, like, you've done us twice this season."
We all felt
he was not confident at all.
No, we all felt really confident. Well, do you know what? When you look back now, like, and we've talked about it with a lot of other boys, we went down to Cardiff to it. We probably went down about 4 or 5 days before.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time laying in hotels and thinking about it. Well, and we had like suits measured, and it was like a big deal for us. But West Ham just treated it as another game. We kind of came to Cardiff the night before, turned up in tracksuits, did the job, and went home, kind of thing. And that's probably what we should have done, but we didn't. And you look back, don't you? I don't know whether Billy did it any different when he got there with Derby. I'm not sure. But
he doesn't strike me as someone that would have done for an occasion like that.
Maybe, to be fair to Billy, he were a big thinker about football, you know, he were intense, and when I first got there, like I say, he had a way of making you want to play football for him. Do you know, he had everybody working. If you didn't want to do it, you didn't stay around long, he got rid of you. And do you know, he'd have his bust up with players at times, but then, you know, you kind of kiss and make up and get on with it. Do you know, like I had a couple of bust ups with him myself. I think it was Brighton away once. We had a bit of bust up on touchline. I think he took me off, and we'd had a few words coming off. And he I think he found me a week's wages for it, actually, and said if I didn't apologise, I'd never play again. So,
Jesus.
Yeah,
when I spoke to Matt, he was saying that it was at times quite aggressive, and that there'd be a few bust ups in like the tunnel with like opposition teams, and like just because you were as a group, the point he was trying to make was that you were just so together.
Yeah.
That if anyone was coming to mess with like one of you, it was like all on.
That was it. He was massive on that team spirit, so he made sure that when we scored a goal, everybody celebrated. Yeah. So he'd make sure that everyone would run up and celebrate. And his attention to detail was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Him and Alan Irvine are the best coaches I've worked under because of their attention to detail and how they went about things. They were both unbelievable. Yeah,
I've heard. I think Sean St. Ledger said the same about Alan Irvine as well.
Yeah.
Said these best coaches worked under.
Yeah, brilliant.
And doubt.
Alan were a bit like probably Billy, but not as intense.
Yeah.
You know, he probably.
Well, Billy showed what he was about when he went to obviously Derby and then Forest as well. I don't think he didn't take Forest up, did he? They lost twice in the playoffs. back to back.
I mean, his record in getting teams to playoffs is
Unbelievable.
unbelievable. You know, I can't believe. Well, I can and I can't. You know, as people, championship managers looking to get teams out of this league, why they look past him, but then they look at his track record of falling out with owners, etc., and that's probably what holds him back. Yeah,
because he's not got a job at the minute, has he? I
don't think. And you look at he's been out of it a long time now. Will he get back in? You don't.
Tough, isn't it?
I don't know. It's a tough one to get into.
So there was obviously you were there under Billy. Then he left to go to Derby. Did you lot sort of have any idea of that happening, or was it a bit of a shock?
Well, it was just after we got to playoffs. We'd started really well again that second season after we lost, and we were kind of up there. And I think we'd got into playoffs we qualified for about 4 games left to play.
Yeah,
we'd had a really good kind of run that season. Had a settled team, so got to about 4 games. And we'd qualified, so we started resting a few, getting a few lads other game times. So I remember we were coming to, it might have been Wolves at home we were playing. And he left me out. I said, "Don't worry, I'm resting you." I think I played 50 odd games this season. I think I finished with playing 52 games that season. And he just said, "Gin you a rest. You played a lot of football. You'll be playing in playoffs."
Yeah, don't worry about it.
So we're playing it. Get to Leeds, kind of. He usually named his team before, like building to training, like you do your shape and your set pieces, but he kept kind of dropping players in and out, so no one really knew what were happening. So we get to a hotel before Leeds. We played away that first leg, and he just kind of put team up at once and said, "Right, this is team. I'm not explaining it. This is what it is." And it made about 3 changes. I went in, and a couple of others went in, and we were like, "Okay then." Right.
Because did he drop Grezza for that one?
He might have done. I can't remember. He may have done, yeah. We went 1-0 up away, and
because Nuge scored, didn't he?
And Eddie Lewis scored a free. Was it Eddie Lewis? Free kick, and he'd had a big thing with Carlo all week about having a jump. He wanted a wall that jumped, and Carlo didn't want one.
Yeah.
So in change rooms after he went berserk, and Carlo kind of again another bust up. "I told you needed a jumping wall. Jumping wall. I told you all week." And Carlos like, "I don't want to jump in." Like, "Well, that's why it's gone in top corner." So it went off, and they were nearly coming to blows. And he cared, you know what I mean? He did care. He wanted, and he wanted things done right.
Yeah.
And then we played at home. He gave it the old job done, didn't he? After game,
what did you lot make of that?
Well, we couldn't believe he'd said it. He like thinking, "What with this?" I don't think we'd lost at home that season, to be fair. So we might have thought it in house, but we would never have gone out and said, we fancied his chances at home against them because we'd done well at home all season, and especially under lights at Deepdale.
I remember that season because I don't anymore. I'm going on my own, but I used to go on with like my dad, my granddad, my uncle, and Tuesday nights at home were always a game that we'd always just all of us look forward to. And we went on like an incredible Tuesday night unbeaten run. It was over like 2 seasons or something, wasn't it?
Even like as players, you'd turn up and there were no better kind of
feeling.
Deepdale under lights, bit of like moisture on surface where you knew we could play at that tempo we like to play at. And like we fancied it. And then again, came to naming team and he just completely changed it. He played Brett Ormerod left wing, brought Marcus Stewart and Brian O'Neill back into the team who'd been injured for a month and not played a game. Played Big Deech up front on his own as a 1, which we'd not played. We played 4-4-2 at home all season and won every game, and especially on a night game, smashed teams.
Yeah.
So he left me. He left probably 4 or 5 lads out who'd been, and whether that were him trying to outfox Leeds or I don't know, but he ended up leaving. It looked like sabotage from anyone looking, and we even players were like, what's he doing? Do you know? But after a lot of lads were kind of angry because we'd worked hard all season, we'd missed out year before, we felt we got a great chance at.
I think that was something that the fans probably felt as well. I know, like, obviously I was a lot younger then. To be honest, my first, even though I've been going on North End as long as I can remember, my first proper sort of memories of North End were under Billy Davis. I remember the back end of the David Moyes era. I remember a bit of Craig Brown, but it all sort of came to the fore under Billy Davis, and I think the same sort of thing was like afterwards. You're like, "What the hell's he done that?"
It were crazy. It were like, did he know we were going, and it would have been too hard to leave? Had we got to play a final and gone up? Listen, only Billy will ever know the answer to that, but it was just disappointing that we'd worked so hard all season. Then
played in a certain way as well.
We everyone knew the jobs. So we're really, really disappointed. I remember just feeling after we lost in that playoff final against West Ham, you felt flat, and it was like devastating. But that was because we'd lost, and we'd lost and we'd not turned up. But after that Derby one, after the Leeds one, it was different. It was more anger than
anything
disappointment.
else.
that we'd had a great chance and we didn't.
Because you lot as players, obviously can see like why.
Listen, I'm not saying we would have won if had he gone back to that normal team.
You'd have thought you'd have had more of a chance.
Yeah, looking at kind of what had gone on. I think Brett got injured early on as well. He broke his leg, which kind of put a damper on things. And
then the floodlights went out.
Yeah, it were
a weird night. As a kid, I love that.
Yeah, it was a weird night, and like I say, it was a disappointing night and ending. Yeah,
it's one of them, isn't it? Just on you go, I guess.
Yeah, and kind of he goes on. Billy ends up leaving it to some of us to Derby,
and then Paul Simpson came in.
Simo coming, and you're kind of thinking, well, what's going to be?
Did he come in from Carlisle? Was it?
He got Carlisle. I think he got back at conference and then out of
League Two and
into League One. So he'd done well.
What was that like with him coming in?
Strange,
because I remember Matt saying that because I think Matt left that season, didn't he? That was the season Hilly, or maybe the second season. I think he left under Simpson anyway.
Yeah, Simo came in and he didn't make a lot of friends early on.
Yeah, Matt kind of alluded to that. Said that he was
as a guy, it was great. I got on all right with Simo kind of thing. He were fine, and his backroom staff he brought in Dennis Booth, one of the funniest men I've ever met in football.
Yeah.
Were brilliant. Loved spending time with him.
I've listened to the one that he did with Parky and Chris Brown.
Yeah,
and obviously the possession of
he were brilliant and just a great guy to have around the football club. Not necessarily just for football reasons, just for
getting on with everyone,
just for getting everyone in that right frame of mind to kind of play. But kind of Simo came in and he was completely different to Billy. Billy were intense, kind of. There were rules. If you didn't stick to Billy's rules, that were it.
Yeah.
Things like even after a game, you'd be travelling back on a coach. There were no kind of crisps and chocolate allowed on bus. He watched what you eat. We got weighed. He were obsessed with people's weight, Billy. So he got weighed. Lads got weighed twice a week, and if you were every pound you were over, you got found £50.
Jesus.
But he'd pluck a figure out of nowhere. So he'd look at me and go, right, what weight are you? And I think I were about 80 kilos at this point. And he'd go, right, I want you at 78. And you'd be like, okay, right, fair enough. But then he'd get Paul McKenna and knock about 5 kilos off him, and Kenna. Well, I've never been that weight ever. So he's like, Kenna's not eating on a Sunday night just to try and make fighters weight, to get him at this weight.
Just not to get fined.
And then Simo come in and he were like, lads are eating KFC on bus after a game. And they were very strange. So he were kind of very much, listen, you know what you should be doing. Yeah, you know what you should be doing to be a footballer.
Yeah.
No, I'm not here till you grow men. Do what you need to do. And to be fair, we started really well. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we did.
Top at Christmas, I think, weren't we?
We were flying. But it were nucleus of Billy Stitt, and we were we were kind of, it were embedded in us how to play under Billy kind of thing. We wanted to go and press and get after teams, where Simo were trying to get us to sit off and let teams and then go and pinch it. And you got players like Kenner, and I think he got rid of Brian O'Neill as well. He'd been Brian off.
Yeah.
Who'd been a mainstay. He got rid of, I think he told me I could go at this point. I think I played a lot of that season kind of in central midfield, tucked in a little bit, because he brought Simon Whaley coming, and Simon were doing really well. So Simon were playing on one side. There were kind of me, Kenner, and Danny Pugh playing as a tight three in there.
Yeah, and
it worked pretty well, to be fair.
You and Danny Pugh.
Yeah, either side, and it worked pretty well. But I'd had a decent season. It it started off with our team. I'd forced my way back in, and we'd done well, and we were like, so we're flying. We were top of league. We looked like we were going to absolutely fly it, and then
I remember. I can't remember what channel it was on, but they used to show the championship highlights on a Sunday morning. I remember watching it with my dad the week that it was like the official cut-off point for This Is Christmas, and we were top. And I remember having a conversation with my dad saying, like, you know, if we can go out in January and buy some decent players and top up the squad, like, got a brilliant chance. And then I think he brought in Michael Ricketts on a free.
Brought in Rico and a kid called Pavel Pergel. And another lad called, what do we call now? Solly, centre back.
Sefo Solly.
Yeah, Sefo Solly came in.
Brought him on loan, didn't he? I think?
Yeah, from Genk or something.
Yeah.
But Billy Davis had done I think Derby was second at the time, and Billy had said, I've got two teams at top of Championship.
I remember that.
Derby and Preston, and Simo had a massive buy on that. Started changing everything round, you know.
Trying to show almost like
they were his team, so obviously Michael Ricketts came in.
Did he only score like one goal that season or something?
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't try it. He kind of came in on trial, did all right, but then it signed to the end of the season. I think they'd offer him a 3-year deal if he did all right. And he just didn't try a leg, you know. I think he got rid of Grezza as well.
Yeah, he did.
Or that might be in his second season. But we ended up going on a massive we blew up massively. Couldn't win a game, and I think we missed out by a point on playoffs on last day of the season. 7th,
didn't we?
Yeah, which was unthinkable. It would have been a point of like, all right, if they mess promotion up, they'll get in.
Was
playoffs.
it against? Did we play Birmingham?
I think it was Birmingham. Yeah,
because I was in my grandparents used to live in Dubai when I was younger, so I think we'd gone out there for the summer, and my dad all the time we were out there was just dead confident. He was like, we'll definitely get in the playoffs, we won't mess it up, and then I think we lost to Birmingham, missed out by a point, and we were just like, oh,
it was, and then
it's actually happened.
It were kind of it were bizarre really, when you're thinking how strong we were, and then again, like I were out of contract. I was coming to last year in my contract, and you have your meetings at the end of the season, and everyone kind of goes in and sees manager, and he kind of said, "Oh, you've done well, but I'm not offering anyone any contracts yet." So I said, "Oh well, that's fine." I said, "I mean, last year contract, so just as long as you know, like, but I need to know sooner or later what I'll be doing."
Yeah.
So he's like, "Right, well, no, I'm not offering any." And then it might have been Sean St. Ledger or someone else he'd offered a deal to. So we're like, "Well, no, that don't sound great." Well, he'd gone back on everything he said. So while I were on holiday, I got a phone call I got married that summer.
Yeah.
And I was in Dubai on honeymoon.
Yeah.
And I got a phone call while there with Colin Calderwood, who was the Forest manager at the time.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, we've been told you can leave Preston. Would you come? I'm in Dubai. Will you come and have a chat with us?" So I kind of texted my agent and said, "Yeah, Simo said you can go," kind of thing. You can speak to him. So I right, fair enough. So when I didn't want to leave at this point. You know, I was quite happy over there. Just got married, got kids. You know, we were settled in Manchester. So I went and spoke to him. He was kind of saying, right, yeah, they were in League One at this time, so I didn't really want to drop down at League. Yeah. But I didn't come into me last year. Someone told me I could go, and then
you think, well, you know,
if I'm not going to, I need to think and do what's best. So I went and spoke to him. Kind of got on great. It kind of progressed from there. We went back pre-season. It was kind of still dragging on a little bit.
Yeah.
And then my agent spoke to Derek Shaw, and he said, I don't know why Paul said that. Chris is for sale. Chris is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think Forest was saying I think they were going to pay $500,000 at this point, and it was saying, well, no, he's not. We're not. It'll cost us that to replace him. Do you know, he's been here. We're not selling him, so I was kind of a bit in no man's land. So I went back pre-season.
Yeah, that manager didn't want you, but the club don't want to let you.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So went back pre-season. We went. I think did we go to America or was that year before?
Yeah, I think. I don't know if it was that year.
I can't remember. Anyway, I went back and we'd done. I had a decent pre-season and played all pre-season games. Done all right. And then I think it was about 2 days before the start of the season, he signed Darren Carter and just completely binned me and started Carter. So I went in to see him after the first game of the season, and I went nuts, absolutely like berserk. Do you know, saying like you've gone back on your promises, you've played me, you told me I could go, then club's telling me I can't go. I need to know where I stand. I get a new deal, or you tell me it's got to be one of others. And he's like, well, yeah, we'll talk about a new contract then. It was kind of like I'd almost strong-armed him into giving me a contract that he didn't want to give me.
Yeah.
And that were kind of, we didn't start great, you know. I remember him and Grezza having a massive bust-up. We lost 3-0 at home to Colchester. And him and Grezza had a massive bust-up. And that would end for Grezza. Then he kind of went to Burnley at that point.
I remember, I think I was out watching one of my mates play football, who was a Burnley fan at the time, and I was with his dad, and he got a call, and he turned around to me and he was like, "Oh, we just signed Graham Alexander from you," and I was like, "You what?" Really?
Unbelievable.
I think they only paid 200k for him, didn't they? And
Grezza were devastated. You could see he didn't want to. It worked out brilliant for him, and he got to play in Premier League and he got promoted. But he were devastated, you know, at the time that they'd like almost forced him. A club legend, done everything he had, and he kind of got forced out a little bit. He'd had a big row with Adam Noland as well at this point. He'd been binned off completely.
Who's Simo had?
Simo had binned him off, and it just weren't a great atmosphere around players. You know, we got some good players, but they just
weren't in it.
Weren't clicking. You know, no one really. He got rid of Dennis Booth at this point. Brought in Rob Kelly.
Yeah.
Rob was brilliant, great coach. He kind of could see what were happening a little bit. There were too many cracks in there for it to ever be anything. He ended up getting bullied when we were.
Do you reckon it was all from that moment that Billy Davies said what he said?
I think it was
just slowly gone.
It becomes a point where lads were still kind of working to Billy's style of playing things like that. And over time, unless that's worked on constantly like we used to do, you fall out of it. No standard slip. And they did. No, Sam were a good coach, had a great career. Do you know what I mean? And I just think sometimes he maybe struggled with stronger characters in that dressing room. We did have some strong characters, you know. And I think he tried to get rid of a lot of them, like Graham Alexander, Brian O'Neill, people like that.
Just backfired on him,
and it didn't work out. You know, probably brought lads in who weren't as good. I mean, he signed some good players as well. Don't get me wrong. You know, Sean St Ledger come in, people like that.
Yeah, he signed Liam Chilwell as well, didn't he?
Chiller came in.
I mean, he was quite unfortunate with his injuries, wasn't he? He always showed a lot of promise.
Yeah,
what I remember of him.
He did a good job, Chiller, when he played. I'm trying to think who else he would have brought in. I can't really remember. I can't remember what Billy brought in. I don't think he actually brought that many in. Oh, he brought Carl Ollie came in. Didn't really work for Carl, striker.
From
Carlisle.
Carlisle,
Did all right, Carl, but it were.
All I remember him doing was scoring that hat-trick in the cup against Derby.
Against Derby, FA Cup, wasn't it? Yeah. He.
So I think that was nearly the end for Billy at that point at Derby, wasn't it?
Yeah. I remember Claude playing for Derby, and he had an absolute nightmare. And I was buzzing because.
Oh, bloody hell, yeah. Claude played for him as well,
Claude
didn't
played
he?
For, yeah. And I remember every time he touched it, Derby fans were booing him. And Claude used to get a lot like they were some of lads liked him. He's probably one player who I would not ever speak to again because I just didn't get on with him at all. Do you know, I thought it was so selfish. Like, do you know, it were all for him. Do you know, it just weren't for me. Do you know, as a lad. Decent player, did a good job when he played, but
just on a personal level,
as a lad, just did not get on with him at all. Even to the point where when I came back to Sheffield to sign for Wednesday, he were at Sheffield United, and our kids were in the same nursery, and he used to stand next to him in the yard and just ignore him. Yeah. He probably felt the same way about me. Do you know what I mean? It weren't a thing we tried to hide. We just didn't get on. Just didn't
can't help it, can you? Sometimes.
Yeah, it's like any workplace, isn't it? There's people you don't get on with.
Yeah, I know all too well about that. Well, we'll have a bit of a break and then do the last part.
Yeah, that's done it.
Cool.
Another brew. Yeah, so Simo kind of coming towards the end.
Yeah.
It turned into kind of not an happy place kind of thing. We've gone obviously top at league to draw, and we were near bottom at league, and you know, every week you're kind of thinking, right, we'll win next week, and we just kept like losing. I remember that one sticks in my mind, 3-0 at home to Colchester. We were terrible, and it would just look like no one knew what they were doing. We'd gone from being a team, it were definitely from my time that was probably the worst period ever. Do you know what I mean? Because we'd always had success in like my 2.5 years at this point, so it was tough kind of as a player to get your head around.
Quite often you'll hear fans say like, "Oh, it's not the manager, it's the players. Like they're not playing for him." Do you reckon that is actually a thing, that players will go out and deliberately not play?
No, as a player, you always want to do the best you can, and sometimes when you're playing in a team that's struggling, it's like a plague where it just spreads through, where confidence goes. People start blaming each other, people start hiding, not wanting in ball.
Yeah.
What you probably will find is when you've got lads who aren't in team at this point, who probably are out of favour.
Yeah.
They're not really asked if you lose. They're probably half hoping that
you do.
You know, there is a bad result and there's a change made.
Yeah.
If you're in the team, you don't really want that to happen. No one wants to see anyone lose their job. But
like
I said, sometimes players, I've known lads who, you know, they do want that manager because they know if a new manager comes in, it might change. You know?
Yeah, of course.
And they get a clean slate. But it was a point then where something needed to happen, and probably Simo were relieved in the end because he looked a broken man in the end. Like I say, he's a good guy, Simo. You know, he's doing well now in England.
Yeah.
But I think he just struggles sometimes with them bigger characters.
Yeah, I can imagine it's probably quite a handful sometimes.
And to be fair to North End, you know, and Derek in particular, you know, he gave an up and coming coach who'd done an opportunity at a Championship Cup, which is nice to see. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sometimes hard though to get that respect from
players,
the lads who are then kind of looking and saying, "Well, you've been at Carlisle." I remember we were in America, and we'd gone for 10 days. It was a long trip.
Because he brought in Billy Jones as well, didn't he?
Somehow. Yeah. He brought in some decent ones, to be fair. Billy were great. I love playing with Billy. He's a great lad as well. We were in America, and I remember we'd gone for a drink that night. We kind of ended at 2. We'd had a game, and he said we could have a drink, so we sat at a hotel bar having a drink. And I remember me and Greza were sat having a chat with Simo, and Greza kind of said to him, "So, what was the secret of your success at Carlisle? What were you built on?" And he went, "I don't know. We just..." And he didn't kind of, if he turned around and go, "Yeah, you know, we had this way of playing," or he just kind of went, "Well, we just did it." And I remember Greza saying to me after, like, He's got no idea, like, you know, which he did have, obviously, you know, but he just didn't come across, and he didn't get everyone on side. He didn't get his lads who needs to get on side early doors, like your Graham Alexander, your Brian O'Neill, your Danny Dickey, those people like that. He should have embraced them and got them on side, you know, to get younger boys on. Yeah. But he didn't. He kind of binned them off.
Made enemies.
Yeah, you know. And listen, Deitch went on to MLS and he's still out there now working for Toronto, so he's a legend out there. So it worked out well for him. Greza went on to Burnley and got promoted to Premier League. So life has a funny way of kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it all worked out well at the end for Greza. He came back to North End. Scored that free kick on his last game.
Yeah.
What was it at the end of the season that he was?
No, he got binned. I think it was about November, December time.
Following season, or
no? That's second season. It might have been a bit early. I remember Alan coming in just before Christmas, so it would have been about November.
Yeah, of course, I remember. I think because Alan kept us up, didn't he?
Yeah, we went on an unbelievable, because we looked dead and buried at this point, and we went on an unbelievable run. Alan came in, brought a few players in, because
he came in from was it Everton?
Everton assistant manager, weren't he? Yeah, because a lot of lads had not really heard of him. Like they knew who we were, but obviously didn't know kind of he was wanting to be a manager. So he kind of came in straight away, kind of got us playing to a structure. It was very much black and white with him. Do you know, there were standards put in place straight away. Were ruthless on timekeeping. Kind of said, if you're ever late, you'll not play. And
Jesus.
Because his thinking was, if I can't trust you to be
on time.
On time where I want you, I can trust you to do a job on pitch.
Yeah, fair enough.
And he was ruthless with it. I mean, Parky used to drive every day from Barnsley, so he were always cutting it fine.
Well, he's told quite a few tales, hasn't he?
And it were kind of, you know, he used to go, he'd leave him out, he'd like put him as sub and things like that. He were ruthless with it, but it needed to be, you know. He came in and got a discipline in there, got us playing to a way, got everyone working hard, you know, showed everyone clips. I remember pitches at Springers at this point where they used to flood quite a bit at this time, so he took us down to a little show just before, like week before Christmas, something like that. Lads were like showing that we're away, so but we were training like down there all stayed away, doing video work at night, you know, pitch work in the morning, just get drilling it into us. I loved him. I thought he was brilliant.
I think quite a few players that played under him that have done interviews elsewhere or with local press have said like he was one of the best.
Honestly, his attention, probably too much attention to detail sometimes. Like, you know, but he'd work so he'd be at training ground at 6:30 in the morning, won't leave till 7 at night, you know, and he expected his staff to work there. Do you remember analysts we had at the time? He'd be like, "Oh God, we're going to be here till 8 o'clock tonight," like doing clips and stuff. But you'd know everything. You'd know we're in there. Wall, what foot keeper kicked with. Probably overload sometimes, but he believed that he could if he gave you all the information, then you could go and perform.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like well, maybe it's no coincidence, but it sounds a bit like what Luke said about Moisey. When I spoke to him, he said that the playoff semi against Birmingham, I think they got to the cup final or something a few weeks earlier, and apparently Moisey said to him, like, if it goes to penalties, these players will take penalties and they'll go this way. And I think, if I remember correctly, I think Luke's went the right way for 4 out of 5 of them.
Did he?
And when he came on the pod, he said, like, you know, looking back, maybe I should have saved a few more, but again, he just put it down to Moisey's attention to detail. So I think, obviously, with Alan working with him at Everton, there's an element of that's rubbed off on it.
Yeah, definitely. And he brought Brown, Chrissy Brown come in. He brought him in pretty early on, and he did well. I think did Chappie come in about that time?
Yeah, I think
he brought a few lads in just to he brought a few loans in as well. Just to help us out at that point, because we were.
So did he bring Ross Wallace in on loan as well?
I think that might be his second season. He brought Lee Williamson in, midfielder, and we kind of just got us believing again and playing in a way that we were used to playing. You know,
a bit similar to how it was.
Everyone knew the jobs, everyone knew what we expected of them, and we did well. We went on actual form that we showed, were kind of promotion form that we needed to stay up, and we ended up staying up quite comfy in the end, and then we took that format into next season, and we had a great start. We won pre-season, was ridiculously hard. We went to Austria, and he'd warned us before we came back that we were going to be tough, but I don't think anyone had any idea. No, I think Grez has still goes to the same place now, because I think Moisey went with Everton as well, and it was kind of 6 o'clock, get up, run, and then back, breakfast, little break, morning training session, till about lunch, back, have your lunch, rest, back training at 5, running, and it was just relentless for a week, you know. But we were fit, you know, we were fit, and we started like an house on fire. I think we won at Ipswich first day. We played really up till about October. We were flying, and then we had a dip, and then we came back out and we played some good football. You know, we had some good players. Like you said, Ross came in. Sleevesy came in, Stevie Elliott, you know, we're a completely new team basically. Yeah, because
Stephen Elliott, I think, came in when Matt left. I think that was part
of the deal. It would have been there.
There was some good players. I remember, I think Ross came in on loan at first.
Yeah, Ross came in on loan.
The fans were just clamouring for him to sign permanently. And I think he did in the January, didn't he? Eventually.
He were a good. Ross were brilliant. Like he could change a game. You know, we had a lot of lads who kind of knew the jobs, but Ross had that bit of magic where he could put a free kick in top bin. You know, it was brilliant. You know, and it worked pretty well because he kind of stayed out wide on that side and floated about, and I did donkey work on our side up and down, and we had it were a good blend. You know, we got Kenner in midfield, who like to get on it, you know.
Yeah.
We got Callum were a big player for us at this point. Callum Davidson, Billy, obviously right back. Sean St Ledger. Sean come on so much under Alan Irvine. Alan used to spend a lot of time with him. Sean worked with strikers a lot as well. Kind of showing videos of Ruud van Nistelrooy and things. He worked with everyone. Everyone he made everybody a better player at this point.
What was it like when Ledge came in? Like, because obviously there's the stories doing
Ledge
done the rounds. But
he was kind of. He came in. It was like before.
He was only a kid.
Yeah,
really, wasn't he?
It was before that programme had come out. That Big Ron Manager.
Do you know what? I don't remember that. Do not remember that.
Try and watch it on YouTube, because you look at it and you think, if I'd have seen that before he came in, I'd have thought this guy's a balloon. But he came in, it was just a daft young lad, you know, and
completely harmless.
Just needed an arm around him and showing coming into a proper football environment where things he did at Peterborough wouldn't have been accepted at North End because he had players who would have jumped on him like Callum and Paul McKenna and people like that. Grezza had gone at this point, but he had we had a good kind of good set of pros who knew what we needed.
I just heard numerous stories about him.
His first day, he come in and we're doing a circle. This run to Simo, and we're doing a circle, and he gave it away every time he had it. And Dennis Boo was like, "Stop! Do you want to go on loan, son?" He's going, "Steady on, it's my first day." No, he was a good lad. Really, him and Nuge got on well. We had a really good blend of like lads who were kind of probably coming towards the prime of their careers, kind of thing. Or, you know, like between your 26 and 28, 29.
Yeah.
And we got some good younger players as well, like
Nuge
and Whaley and St Ledger.
Because Simon Whaley was unbelievable for a time, wasn't
he? He was. He could have been anything he wanted to be. That lad. He was strong, quick, could strike it with both feet, could play centre forward, could play down wide, but for one reason or another, just not. I think Liverpool were watching him at one point. Could have been anything he wanted to be, but for one reason or another, he didn't. I mean, he didn't. I don't think he worked hard enough for Alan, like giving him a chance, and he just didn't want to do that work, and he'd come back and he'd do it a bit, and then, but ability-wise,
unbelievable.
It's sad, you know, that you see talent like us. Where he should be now. When you look at these players now who are playing, he's what football's about now.
Yeah.
You know, people who quake, you know, can strike and run.
Yeah.
He could be a multi-millionaire now if it just kind of just knuckled down a little bit and he got that.
I don't really remember where it went wrong for Alan Irvine. Other than I think things just get a bit stagnant. Obviously,
we got to playoffs, didn't we? That playoff we lost to Sheffield United in playoffs. We'd
that was the one.
Ends at season were unbelievable. We'd had a good run, then we lost at home to Blackpool, and it looked like we were out of it. Playoffs, and then we won against Cardiff 6-0.
Yeah.
And give ourselves, and then Cardiff got beat 6-0 again.
And Lonners saved that pen, didn't
Lonners saved it, and then I think QPR we had to beat last game, and all results went, and everything kind of
just fell into place.
It was brilliant. We had a great set of lads, and it were like a lot of us are still in touch now. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of one of them where, you know, I still meet Billy's at Rotherham now. So I go and have a coffee with Billy occasionally. I still see a lot of the Lonners, you know. Even though Chappie's in America, still kind of text him and stuff. It's Mel's Brownie Parker, kind of Lonners. We'll have a night out, you know.
Yeah.
So we had a good dressing room, you know.
Friends for life.
Yeah, it was like Paul McKenna, all lads like that. And like I said, we got to that semi-final against Sheffield United, and it could have gone either way. Do you know, that home game we had enough chances to to be going into it winning. They had a good. They didn't have a great team. They were under Kevin Blackwell, and they were very direct. But they had some good. They got Kyle Walker, Kyle Norton playing. Do you know, at that point they got
Greg Alford as well.
Greg Alford, who was the long throw just kept coming in. Yeah. You know, they were direct. You know, and. You know, if we'd got a couple of goals up at home, I'd have fancied us. But even in end, we lost. I think it was 1-0. They scored, weren't it? Greg Alford scored at their place.
Header on it, I think.
Yeah. And Billy Jones missed a chance late on.
Last few seconds.
Yeah, Parky still like won't let him live it down. He always says to me, "It's all right for you, Billy. You got to play in Premier League. You cost us my chance." So yeah, it just went to be. And then next season, we started off all right. You know, we were doing all right. And I think we'd not won for probably about 6 games, something like that. But we'd drawn a couple. And game before he got sacked, we'd lost 1-0 to Sheffield United again, late goal. It was like injury time. But we were still, I think we were about 9th.
Yeah.
We were only about 6 points outside playoffs. Yeah. There weren't really anyone shouting for his head at this point.
No.
Players were still very much behind him. I remember I was in Trafford Centre. It was a Wednesday after game, and Lonners rang me and said, "Oh, Gaffer's been sacked." I went, "No way." He went, "No, seriously, he's been sacked." He's gone. And I was like, "Wow, this stinks." And then obviously Fergie came in, and it turned out that obviously Trevor Emmings were mates with Sir Alex, and that's where it came from. Which, at the end of the day, he puts a lot of money in. It's up to him who manager. But it left a sour taste.
Yeah, I can imagine.
In the lads, because everyone were very, very much behind him. Do you know?
Was it before Fergie came in that we played Colchester in the cup? I think we beat them 7-0.
That was.
Or was it Fergie's first game?
No, it were game after Alan had been sacked on Wednesday. We played him on Saturday. Rob Kelly were in charge.
Ah, right.
I think I actually scored that game. A rare one. We won 7-0. It was like I bet he were cursing as Alan at home that day. But
because Parky scored as well, I think, didn't he? Did he get a hat-trick or something?
I think so. I think Mel's got a couple. But then Fergie came in, and that were kind of beginning of the end really for me at that point. It was. I mean, I played quite a bit under Fergie, but like I was saying, I'd been speaking to Alan about a new contract at this point. It was kind of very much in the kind of getting sorted. You know, we'd agreed everything.
Just needed to.
It was just a case of getting things sorted, and getting things finalised, and then he went. Everything goes on hold, obviously, at that point. And then Fergie came, and it was like he just tried to change everything at once. And Darren's he's a good lad. Darren, he's done well as manager, and I really enjoyed his training sessions from over there. But I've spoke to him since, even when I went kind of on coaching staff at Bury, and he were at Donny at this point. And I talked about him then and he even admitted himself he did things wrong. Do you know? He said I tried to change things too much. He said I got told that I needed to get people out and I'd be backed, and they didn't. I mean, he were honest with me. To be fair, he kind of he pulled me in and said, "Listen, I'd like to keep you, but you know, I need to bring my own players in."
Yeah, because he brought in was it about 4 or 5 from United?
Yeah, he brought
Matty James,
Dillard, Dillard weren't Matty, that was after me. He were kind of Danny Welbeck came in, Matty James.
Oh yeah, Danny Welbeck.
Who else did he bring in? He brought a few in. I can't remember, but he kind of just said to me, "I need to free some wage bill up." And at this point, Mark Robbins had gone to Barnsley.
Yeah,
we were in Championship, so he'd said to me, "Listen." At this point, he knew I were out of contract. I don't think Alan had gone to Wednesday at this point. Or had he? He might have. But Mark had said to me, "Right, I want to take you to Barnsley."
Yeah.
He'd made it clear I weren't going to get another contract at this point. So I spoke to Mark Robbins. He kind of said, "Right, yeah, we want to take you. Can you get out on a free?" So I went to see manager and he said, "No, we want 100,000. I was like, "Well, I'm going to go for free in summer, you know. I've been here 7 years. I've played 200 odd games, you know. Just
a bit of respect.
Yeah, so I ended up kind of managing to get out, and then last minute I was driving across to Barnes to sign, and their chairman pulled the plug on it, and I was fuming. Because I'd like said all my goodbye, so I had to go back in. And I think I played another game. We played against Watford at home, and I went up for an header, and Lloyd Doyley landed on my knee.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd snapped it, and I thought, I'm done here. So from that point, I just said, "Listen, don't pick me." And it was sad, really, because I'd been there all that time, you know, played a lot of games, had a lot of success, you know, we'd had some good things, and it was kind of, I felt like I kind of shoved out a side door without having a chance to say, kind of, bye to fans or thanks. And it happens in football, I get that, but, you know, it was tough, and I was quite bitter for a while towards Fergie for that. But he made some mad, like he put lads in their own dressing room at one point. He'd got Richard Chaplow, Neil Collins, Stephen Elliott. I don't know if Parky went in there. I think Mel's might have been in there as well at one bit. and it was literally like a janitor's cupboard that they cleared out and put like some benches in and they got changed. And they were training with kids.
Yeah, because they used to get sent up to UCLan, didn't they?
Yeah, and it was a joke really. Like, and we used to train a lot of time at Carrington.
Yeah.
And it was like he just tried to change too much too soon. Just style of play, players he brought in.
It was wild football.
Yeah,
wild football. It, as a fan, it just felt like it was just, well, you score 2, we'll score 3. You scored another one, we'll score another one.
It was great, and like I say, it didn't work for him for whatever reason. Do you know, it were. I think if they'd given Alan a bit more time, then I still think we might have been in and around playoffs that year.
We weren't too. If we were outside the top 10 when Alan went, it wasn't too far outside the top 10.
No, we weren't. Like I said, I think we were only 6 points off playoffs at that point. So again,
and it was like before Christmas as well.
Yeah.
So you'd think maybe get to January, back him and give him a bit longer. But then I suppose on the flip side of that, the club might have been thinking, well, we can bring a new manager in, back him.
Yeah, you can see where they were going with it, but it seemed if we'd have been on a bad run, then a really bad run, then you get it. But it's probably a sign at times at that point people don't get time anymore. No. 6 games and you're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much it.
What was Derek like?
Derek was great. I always got on alright with Derek. It kind of got to a point where they'd handed some big contracts out, but to certain players. But at that time, probably when I know one of the contracts got handed out, it had been they'd just turned a bid down for somebody, and they thought this player had got another year left.
Yeah,
but he didn't. He were out of contract, so he had him over a barrel. Do you know, he ended up getting a good deal, and they thought they were going to sell him in summer for like a couple of million, and it never materialised. So
panicked.
They got like someone there on a lot of money for the next 3 years, and they ended up having to give players good money to sign. Do you know, you likes of Ross and players, they were international players. Do you know, so to get them to sign, you've got to pay them good money. Do you know,
it reflects, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you sign that quality of player and.
But no, I always got on Derek. For me, he always backed his managers. You know, Billy, he backed him when he brought in and rebuilt that side.
Yeah.
You know, Billy used to kind of have us flying to games. You know, he'd be chartering planes.
Yeah, I remember Matt saying about was it Southampton? He said he fell asleep on the plane and it had been redirected back to Manchester.
Yeah, that were with Alan. They couldn't land because of fog.
Yeah, and he woke up and one of the lads was like, "Oh, we're landing back in Manchester."
It was ridiculous. We had to get a coat. We thought we were going to be down there for 7. We ended up getting down there at like 1 in the morning. We ended up winning next day though.
I think we won 1-0.
1-0, yeah. I think Lewis Neal scored actually.
Lewis Neal. Bloody hell.
Yeah, he's out in Orlando now, coaching.
Is he?
Good little player, Lewis.
Yeah, left-footed, wasn't he? Yeah, I remember. So how did it come about that you obviously eventually left? And
so it kind of just got to a point where obviously that kind of fell down. That move to Barnsley fell down. Alan had then got a job at Wednesday.
Yeah.
Fergie told me he wanted to rebuild his own team.
Yeah.
I was out of contract and just kind of happened. You know, yeah. I spoke to Wednesday. We're in Championship at this point, and I actually had an offer from Brighton and an offer from Wednesday, and I spoke to D-Chat or Toronto.
Yeah.
About maybe looking at going out there, but obviously I'd been a Wednesday fan kind of growing up. I actually turned down a better contract in Brighton to sign for they offered me 3 years and pretty much similar money I were on at North End.
Yeah.
Probably a bit, it might even be a bit more. And then Wednesday offered me 2 years on less money, but it was just I'd have regretted it forever if I not took it. So ended up going there, and it just didn't work. You know, for Alan, it started off really well.
It turned quite quickly in the end, didn't it? I think.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
We'd started really well. Like we'd won first 5-6 games, like smashed teams, and then it seemed to like we'd got a lot of good players on paper, but we were all probably kind of wrong side of 30. Yeah, like we were.
Because Mel's went as well. Didn't
Mel's. There were me kind of. Gary Teal, Clint. It was a completely new side, you know. Clinton Morrison. Who else came in? There was Tommy Miller, who were already there.
Because he was Darren Pearce for a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, Tommy, great good player. But we didn't have enough legs and energy in the team. It's all right having all these lads who are over 30.
Plenty of experience, but
if you've got like a couple and then you've got them legs, but we didn't have it, you know. And pitch were massive at Hillsborough, and we were just getting overrun off teams, you know. And like I said, we started well, but it turned quickly, and fans are very demanding at Hillsborough, and it's kind of, you know, there's 25,000 room, and when things aren't going well, it's a tough place to play. It can be tough, do you know. And they turned on Alan pretty quickly. And to be fair to Mandridge, he stuck with him for quite a while. Stuck with him. He wanted him to turn it around, but he just couldn't get it going. I felt really sorry for him, because he kind of, like I say, I've got so much respect for Alan. He's a great coach and a good man, and he didn't probably deserve some of the stick he got. It were players let him down. You know, we let him down as players. We know that. And then kind of Gary Megson came in after that.
Yeah, well, obviously for you personally, you must have been buzzing.
Oh, buzzing to kind of sign there. Yeah, it would good.
Childhood dream.
Yeah, and it probably didn't really happen for me as much as I wanted to. In an ideal world, I would have loved to have played there when I were in my prime. Do you know? But I probably signed there 2 years too late. Do you know?
Did you ever have an opportunity to go there earlier on, or that you know of?
When I were at when I were at Rotherham, there were a few sniffs, but at that time Wednesday were League One and we were in Championship at Rotherham, so it were kind of. It would probably
not worth.
At that point in my career, I wouldn't have dropped down to League One. So listen, I've got a promotion medal from playing for my boy club. I've scored at Hillsborough, and they're things that no one can ever. Memories that no one will ever take away from me. Do you know what I mean? It didn't happen for me like I wanted it to, but you know, it was still a great experience. You know, and seeing them scenes when we got promoted against Wickham, there were 40,000 fans in going berserk. They were brilliant. You know. Yeah. And then when we got promoted, kind of on Town Hall steps and looking at it, were just great scenes.
Yeah, never forget it.
Forever, yeah.
So it was, when you're at North End, who was like the one that came in that was just an absolute joker, just like the life of the changing room? And was there a few?
We had a few, to be fair, kind of. Depending what era you were in, kind of thing. Do you know?
Well, obviously, because you were there for.
I was there for like a kind of. So that first era when we were first kind of there, do you know, Paul McKenna always one of the funny ones. You know,
it's funny because you look at him from like the image that he gives off, and you wouldn't think of him.
Oh, dead dry sense of humour, but. Training wise, he would nail. If you weren't running about, he'd nail you. Do you know, you didn't want to be on his team. Then. Well, obviously Parky were a funny lad, you know. Richard Chaplow were funny. Me and Parky used to pretty much have it on lockdown at this point, where we kind of.
Were you wrestling and all that sort of stuff?
We pretty much ran that dressing room at this point when me and Parky were in. But there were some good characters. Chrissy Brown, funny lad. Brett Ormrod, funny lad. They were all funny in the different ways. Yeah, do you know where. Illy could be funny at times, you know. Good set, a great set. Like I said, from all my time there, they just Claude who I looked around and said, "You were one kid I didn't get on with."
Yeah, which is pretty good.
Yeah,
only one.
Yeah.
Who was the worst trainer then? Was there someone that you just knew going into training? You'd just be like, he's just not going to be arsed?
Oh, Parky. Yeah. By a mile, Parky. Yeah. He used to say. I used to say to him, "You better not be on my team today." And he'd be like, "Oh, don't shout at me if I am." Yeah, not just. He just listen. He did it in games, and like when he trained. But sometimes you could see you just didn't want him on your team. Yeah. You know, you just looking at him, he'd probably got late to training, and he looked like a bag of crap. That when he turned up, you'd think like, no, I don't want you on my team.
And obviously on the flip side to that, it was someone that would just set the standard. Or was there a few?
Graham Alexander, Callum Davidson, Paul McKenna, Grezza especially completely changed the way that I'd come from Rotherham, and he completely changed the way that I looked at
football.
Being a professional footballer. Yeah. You know, I thought I was professional before I kind of saw Grezza, and he would just
next level.
Clean his own boots still, you know, won't let anyone touch his boots. Stayed behind after practicing things, you know, he would not an ounce of fat on him, looked after himself, and that's why he played until he was 40 years old, because he was a model pro. I remember doing bleep tests with him once. He was coming, when were it? When Simo went manager, so it'd have been 35, 36 probably this time, 37. And it got to end, and there were me, Grezza and Danny Pugh left in. and we were kind of cruising, doing it. We were going on, and it got to a point where you're waiting for someone to drop out, and then I'm looking at Grezza and going, how many are you doing? And he kept saying, one more than you. I think, oh my God. So we ended up actually running this tape out, us three, because we just finished it. No one had dropped. But that was his mentality. We're like, just great pro. We used to argue so much on pitch. Like we'd be hammering each other.
You played in front of him,
yeah. I still to this day tell him he played till they were 40 because I did all his running. But yeah, he so much respect for him as a player, and like I say, he open minded. Same with Callum. They did everything, and Callum were unlucky with injuries, but people are lucky and say we're injury prone, but that weren't to. It was just he was that committed to things and where he trained, and they were just top professionals.
Cool. Well, I think we'll call that a podcast.
Okay. Be nice having a reminisce about them times.
Yeah, be a good one. I've enjoyed it, definitely. So thanks for having me.
No worries. Thanks a lot, pal. Enjoyed it. No worries.